Batman. You'll love to see it. Welcome back, Gothamites. If you're new here, hi. I'm London, aka History of the Batman. The first DC books released this week, the first in the new year, had a major focus on the new DC Comics event, DC Future State, including the publication of John Ridley Future State, the New Batman issue number 1, which features the newest person under the cape and the cowl, Tim Fox. So I'm sure if you're like, who's Tim Fox? Where did he come from? Where is Bruce Wayne? Why is he the new Batman? Then this video is for you. To celebrate the beginning of DC Future State and to take a closer look at our newest Batman, this video is to fill you in on who Tim Fox is, his origins, how he came back into the current continuity, what DC Future State actually is, and we are going to take a look at the first issue of Future State, the New Batman. But before we take a look at the newest Cape Crusader in town, why don't you subscribe to this channel and become part of this wonderful Gothamite community? We'll start with the basics. Who exactly is Tim Fox? Timothy Fox is the son to Wayne Enterprises head Lucius Fox. Tim Fox is also the brother to Luke Fox, who has taken up the Batwing mantle. I love Batwing. So amazing. And Timothy Fox debuted on April 12, 1979 in Lynn Wein and Irv Novik's story, Two for the Money in Batman issue 313. As Batman tries to track down Two-Face, who has obtained stolen defense codes he wants to give to the Soviet Union, Lucius Fox, a top Wayne Enterprises executive, fights with his son Tim over his lack of effort in his college courses, with Tim raging out of their apartment. So shocking. Someone that's in university doesn't want to listen to any type of authority, including their parents. That seems par for the course to me. The following issues of Batman leading into the early 1980s shows Tim's rebellious nature and constant fighting with his dad. In Marv Wolfman and Novik's story Target, which was published in 1980's Batman issue 330, it is revealed by Batman that Tim has joined a local youth gang, and Lucius begins to investigate. Seeing they're going to show Wayne who the real boss is, Lucius confronts Tim and he storms off. However, when the gang learns Lucius is snooping around, he is beaten up and hospitalized. Robin follows Tim to the hospital and confronts him, with Tim telling Robin he doesn't realize how bad Bruce Wayne actually is, and all will be revealed tonight. Obviously suspicious, Robin follows Tim, who meets up with one of the gang members and overhears him discussing how Wayne owns over 30 of the worst tenements in town, scamming the poor. And then Robin's like, Tim may believe that BS, but not me, baby. Dick Grayson obviously knows that Bruce would never do that, like ever in any of his businesses. He obviously knows that Tim has been manipulated by this youth gang into working with him to try to stop Bruce and just cause chaos. Tim and the gang go to Wayne Enterprises in order to plant a bomb in the building, with Tim wanting to back out because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. When the gang then threatens Tim, Batman and Robin come busting in and Batman's out for blood. Batman then begins to lecture Tim, asking why he would want to be part of this and if he wants to end up like the thugs he's beating up right now. Robin then comes to Tim's defense, however, which causes an argument between the dynamic duo. I love when Bruce and Dick fight. I don't know why. I think the father-son dynamic between them, I just love the realness, like the human side of both of them bickering over especially how to enact justice, even with someone that they both are very familiar with and is basically family to them. But anyway, this arc featuring Tim comes to a close in Wolfman's Shanghai, which was published in 1981's Batman issue 333. At the Gotham City jail, Robin and Catwoman come to see Ronald Watkins, the head of the youth gang. In order to be released from jail, Watkins confessed that the man behind falsifying records about Bruce Wayne being a slumlord the Wayne Enterprises bombing, the attack on Lucius Fox, and the ultimate killing of Tim himself was Gregorian Falstaff, a corrupt businessman who wanted to destroy Wayne Enterprises and Bruce, which was all spearheaded by who else? Ra's al Ghul. Are you surprised that Ra's is using these other people as pawns to get Bruce Wayne or even to get Batman? You shouldn't be, because seemingly between Ra's trying to wipe out the population or him trying to get Bruce Wayne or to get Batman to ruin them, that is part of his MO when it comes to being a villain up in this universe. Like, it just is, especially when it has to deal with his daughter Talia, who of course is all wrapped up in love with Batman. It's so messy, that triangle. I love it. Lucius comes to meet Tim at the jail, who was apprehended after being part of the attempted bombing, and they have a heart-to-heart talk, with Lucius forgiving him and accepting him with open arms. And really, after that 4 issues worth of Tim being part of this gang and trying to show that Bruce Wayne's a bad guy and all of that, you don't really see him really at the forefront in any comic, mostly until the early 2000s, when you see him in Devin Grayson's story 24/7, which was in Batman Gothamites issue 32. While Tim only makes a very small cameo within the modern era of DC Comics, finally comes into the New 52 DC Universe continuity of Prime Earth in John Ridley and Olivier Coipel's story Family Ties, which was in Batman the Joker Warzone issue number 1. This is a follow-up after the crossover arc, The Joker War, when Joker is able to control all of Wayne Enterprises when Lucius Fox is captured and given Joker venom in order to do the Joker's bidding. After the Wayne family fortune was stolen by Joker, Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, was able to retrieve it, put it all on a disk drive, and made it part of Lucius Fox's personal heritage. In Family Ties, as Lucius is still recovering from the lasting Joker venom in his system, the Foxes debate on how to properly use the money, or if they should accept it at all. The end of the issue sees Lucius's wife Tanya saying it is now time for their estranged son, Tim Fox, to come home. I'm sure you're like, how is Tim estranged when in the last issue that we really saw him in interacting with Lucius, they hugged it out and it was fine. Well, this New 52 DC Universe of Prime Earth that was established in Jeff Johns' Flashpoint saga that came out in 2011, you know, the Flashpoint book where we see Thomas Wayne become Batman, you know, the book that made people like Thomas Wayne at all, because before he became Batman, no one cared about Thomas Wayne. This continuity is different than pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths continuity, because once Crisis on Infinite Earths happened in 1985, that reset the entire DC Universe, which basically reset the whole Tim Fox history, and he was merely just mentioned in stories. However, he has been here since the late 1970s. He has been a figure within Batman's life because he is such a close work partner with Lucius Fox with Wayne Enterprises. Tim has really been at least mentioned within Batman's world at least since the Bronze Age. He's not just some random character that has gotten the Batman man. Tim's first appearance on this Prime Earth was in Jane Tynion IV's After the Laugh epilogue in December 2020's Batman issue 101, where Lucius talks with Batman about obtaining the Wayne family wealth and Wayne Enterprises, which will absorb Foxtech, a new family-ran business that includes Tim, Tiffany, and Lou, Lucius's children. So that is Tim's story before DC Future State officially kicks into high gear. What exactly is DC Future State? And how is Tim Fox involved? Well, in the most Cliff Notes explanation I could give you, so we're not here for an hour, DC Future State is a result of the events from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's arc Dark Knight's Death Metal, which concluded this week with issue number 7. Once the Batman Who Laughs, the Dark Multiverse Batman introduced in Snyder and Capullo's Dark Knight's Metal, decides to try and take over the multiverse and destroy the creators of said universe, Wonder Woman, who now has cosmic powers beyond what she has experienced before, does the ultimate battle with this dark Batman. Thanks to Wonder Woman's bravery, the cosmic gods restored the DC Multiverse with limitless multiverses, creating a DC Omniverse. What that means is, for example, any and all Batman stories that has existed in mainstream continuity outside, whether it's in Elseworlds, it's on a different universe, all the different types of Batman that you probably have ever seen in comics is placed in their own respected universe. And this collection of universes all exists within a never-ending multiverse. So it is quite massive now. Dark Knight's death metal basically established that all stories from the past, the present, and the future, they all matter. One isn't just, oh, this is an Elseworld, so it doesn't count, and it's no. Everything matters now. And all are actually possible within this newly created DC Omniverse, which actually makes the concept of DC Future State a reality. DC Comics' new endeavor, titled DC Future State, is a limited series featuring 24 titles that will run from January to March of 2021. Starting with the year 2025, world's finest Batman and Superman take on the private security force called the Magistrate, created by Gotham Mayor Christopher Nakano, who is looking to eradicate all vigilantes, or what they call the Masks. Their efforts to stop this police force failed, with Bruce Wayne's Batman seemingly killed. However, he survived but has faked his own death. Bruce stays underground under a new mantle, while someone else has to take up the cape and the cowl. So DC Future State, in turn, follows the big players within the Justice League, including DC's Trinity, The Flash, and also Aquaman, and other major characters, and how new and younger figures will take up these classic personas in this near and very possible future. I mean, let's think about it this way. With the concept of limitless multiverses existing, the legacy of these classic mantles will indeed continue on. And these stories showcase how this legacy can or will continue on in the future of this new DC Omniverse. But now that we know a little bit more about Tim Fox, his relationship with his father Lucius and the Fox family, and DC Future State, now we have the first of 4 issues featuring Tim Fox as the new Batman. In Future State, the next Batman, issue number 1, which came out this past Tuesday, January 5th. Written by John Ridley and illustrated by Nick Darrington, this first issue gives the reader an inside look at Gotham City under the police state headed by the Magistrate, which patrols the streets with armed soldiers called the Peacekeepers, who shoot on sight the masks or masked criminals or even vigilantes. We follow the Batman, Tim Fox, who is still apprehending criminals, from the Banglitos gang to the East Side Rapists, who, by the way, is totally representative of the East Area Rapist, or the Golden State Killer. Hi, I'm London, a native Californian and an avid serial killer documentary watcher. How you doing? Nice to meet you. How have you been? We also see Tim, who identifies himself as Jace, speaking with his brother Luke Fox, aka Batwing, and they have an argument over Tim's absence, especially when their sister Tam has a relapse and is in the hospital. And along with that family drama, their mom Tanya is trying to deal with putting the Wayne finances in order. This first issue is structured to give the reader an idea of this new, heavily policed Gotham City in the future. It basically is a dystopian version of the Gotham that we are familiar seeing in the normal Batman stories. And this book also highlights the strain that the Magistrate has placed on much of the force that are part of the GCPD. And I'm sure that will be an issue in one of these 4 comics. It just has to be. There has to be some type of uprising. Some officers in the GCPD are going to go against these drones and these armed soldiers called the Peacekeepers, and it's going to be an all-out battle, or I would assume it's going to be. Focusing on Tim Fox's Dark Knight. Personally, I'm a fan, especially of this panel where we're having a little bit of an identity issue while Tim is apprehending the East Side Rapist. Now, Tim doesn't believe that he's better than Bruce Wayne and him being the Dark Knight, because he eats that up all the time. However, him knowing that Bruce Wayne is in hiding and that he can't be Batman right now. And the only person that can be is Tim Fox. He knows he has to live up and be the best Batman he can be in these heavily guarded streets of Gotham. And even has to risk his life on the nightly now, since these armed soldiers are patrolling the streets and literally hunting down criminals, vigilantes, any and everybody who's wearing a mask. I'm also very obsessed with the color palette. The hues of purple and blues and pinks jump out of the juxtaposed dark shadows that litter Gotham in this book. I always appreciate any color that is represented in Batman books, because everyone just sees Batman as this dark and mysterious character, so you just think all he should have are just like grayscale colors besides the color that's in like his bat suit, or the colors in the Robin costume, for instance, since they're traffic light colors. But I am just a fan of these very neon yellows and pinks and purples that pop out. I love it so much. There are also 2 short stories after this main story that focus on both the Outsiders and Arkham Knight, and honestly, those are fantastic as well, and I'm looking forward to reading much more of that. Future State, the new Batman issue number 1, was a little bit of a slow burn, but that's purposeful, right? We're introducing everything to us. We're introducing the new Batman, we're introducing the state of Gotham, and we're really looking at how this dystopian future could actually be a very possible future within this mainstream continuity that is now the DC Multiverse. But speaking of that, when the first cover of Tim Fox's Batman, where you can see his face, was revealed by DC, the response was not surprising, considering even though it's 2021, we still a little racist out here. I'm not going to end this video on a long talk with you about racism. I'm really not. I don't have that energy right now. All I'm saying is, if your only disdain about Tim Fox being Batman is because of the color of his skin, you need to check the calendar and see that it is 2021. Come on now. And besides, Tim Fox isn't the first Black person to take up the Batman mantle. If you read Stan Lee and Joe Kubert's Just Imagine with Stan Lee, and saw that he introduced Wayne Williams as that universe's Batman, which, by the way, in this new DC Omniverse, that Batman is technically within all of these universes. He's on that particular Earth. I'm just saying, it all matters. It all matters now. If you are having a little bit of trouble reading Tim Fox's Batman, try your best to just accept this very temporary change and kind of embrace new possibilities that the DC universe, omniverse, multiverse, however you personally want to call it, is going to play out. Batman has been around for 82 years this year. It's cool to play around with such a classic and iconic mantle and update it, give it a little bit of a fresh spin, just so things don't go stale. I am always a fan of seeing what they do with Batman, and I am very, very excited to read Future State, the new Batman number 2, which comes out January 19th, just 2 weeks. Yes, this book is bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks you will get a new issue. There's only 4 issues in this particular line. I'm sure Tim Fox's Batman will pop up somewhere in the other books, but I just wanted to discuss Future State, the new Batman issue number 1, and also just give you a little bit of background on Tim Fox and what DC Future State is and what you can expect from this new, very awesome endeavor that DC is doing with their classic characters. Thank you guys so much for watching this review on the DC Future State and also Future State, the new Batman issue number 1, and I do hope you guys learned a little bit more about our current Caped Crusader, Tim Fox. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a bat thumbs up. As always, all of my social media is linked in the description below, including Instagram at History of the Batman. So why don't you give it a follow and become a Gothamite? Check out the rest of my videos on this channel, and of course, please subscribe to this channel so you can become part of this Batman community. It would mean so much to me. Thank Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll have much more history of Batman soon, right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, all about peace,